All right. Good afternoon out there. Today is day three of our internship, which, in terms of calculations, this is our third month. So it means what we are doing every week, we are covering a month. So it means it's a lot of work for all of you out there. And for those that are just connecting with us virtually, I will advise you go back and watch some of the program that we covered because it will give you a clear understanding of what we are doing. Basically, to give an insight or a little background of what we are doing, the first week we discuss on how do we make use of AI to develop any type of solution related to cybersecurity. And the second week, we discuss on how do we develop application. That's for those that enroll for software program. So it means the internship is for all the courses that were covered during the IDS program. And today we are going to focus on artificial intelligence. So it means during these 3 weeks, all what we are doing is theory and practical. Theory and practical. The first week, we are happy to understand that 95% of all the class really understand how to make use of AI to develop solution related to cybersecurity. And also the second week, we're happy to know that almost 99% of all of you understood how to make use of AI to develop a fully scaled website that you can present it to anybody that this is a website I developed. Now, today, the most complicated part of the program, which is artificial intelligence. Well, why I said it's complicated because AI do have a lot of requirements. I know most of the AI that you've done is basically apply AI, but my own part is we are going to write computer code in order to do AI. So, as part of what we promise, we are not rushing and we are not just coding everything from our head. Rather, we are leveraging on generative AI tools to develop these solutions. So it means we are adding with our knowledge generative AI for us to be able to develop any of the solution. Like I've said, the AI is your friend. Whatever problem you have, go ahead and ask the AI tool. The AI tools will help you and guide you. When you have a problems, do have a colleagues, and we are here for you. You can talk to us to see if it's something we can all put head together to see we address the problem. So before we begin, I have a little announcement that will not take much of our time. Uh, our team are going to come for supervision. That means, as part of the requirement for the internship, wherever you are, whether you are in the UK, you are within Nigeria, we want our team to make sure that you are doing the internship. So I know a lot will ask questions, those that are in a very far, remote area, maybe they're out of the country. How do we send our supervisors to come and look for them to see what they are doing? Well, we understand that we have a virtual internship and we have the physical internship where you are deployed to different organizations. So for that reason, we have a strategy in place that will cover us up to see that our supervisors have supervised you and make sure you are doing what you're expected to do during the internship period. So, rest assured, our supervisors are going to start supervision this month of February. And then I want to know if there are questions. Idafe, do you have questions? I cannot see the text, the chat funnel today. Maybe we haven't enabled it today. So this is going to be troublesome, but okay. We are all into technology, so we can open the Telegram group so that you can share any of your concern through the Telegram group, and then my colleagues are here with me. You can be able to tell me the questions you have. But in absence of having the chat funnels in the live program, we have to quickly start uh, working on the third program, which is artificial intelligence. So for that reason, we are going to really keep that aside. Then maybe toward the end of the program, or we may come back to answer some of the questions and challenges you have. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Like I've said, pay attention very well because this is the most difficult part. Even myself here, I wanted us to do theory and practical today, but I don't think it's possible because the AI is really very, serious program. So what we'll do now, we'll try and cover some part of the AI theoretically, and then guide you on how you can be able to find your way around in order to do AI. So for that reason, I will see if possible we can be able to do the theory at the same time do the practical. But we'll start with the theory so that we can fully understand what is this AI. A lot of people will talk about AI. Some even are into the program, but they don't know much about the AI. So let's today look at the AI. And like I've said, when we are in this program, open up your heart, use the AI prompt either on your mobile device or on your computer to ask any questions you have. I hear that I standing in front of you talking. I may be wrong in some part of my mentorship, but if you have the AI, it can help you and guide you properly. Okay. So let me share my screen with you so that we can look at. So, uh, basically, like I've said, the entire 1 week or 2 week for the AI, we are going to center our focus based on the process of developing text-to-image AI model using Python, Django, and Stable Diffusion. So these Stable Diffusions, Python, Django, all these are technologies. I believe we have done Python in terms of cybersecurity, where we're able to develop basic threat intelligence models using Python to do a penetration testing, which I believe a lot of you have seen how it works. So today we are going to combine the Python, the Django, and then another tools or another library called Stable Diffusion. So this is the aim of this. The aim of today's discussion to theoretically understand what is this. Then maybe if time permits, we can start coding. Maybe by next week we have our code complete. So in terms of what we are doing, the aim of the AI section is for us to be able to develop an AI model that we can be able to give the AI model command. Maybe I can say AI models. I want you to generate an image of ideas student with their mentor, with their tutor, just like you guys are using a lot of these tools online, but you don't know how those tools are developed, right? You can see I've seen it in a lot of social media handle where you see uh, AI generated pictures, right? Maybe you and your friends, maybe you can ask the AI to generate an image of you and your friend 20 years ago by the side of rivers or things like that. So what we are doing here is we are not just using those tools, okay, that were developed by different companies. Rather, we are going to put hand together to see how can we be able to develop our own model. So it means it's a serious job because I believe some of these tools are not free online. So it means part of what we want to do for those of you that are into AI, we want to develop AI models. So today we understand what is this AI and what is model and what is Python, what is Django, and all this. So first, uh, what is this artificial intelligence? What is the artificial intelligence? Well, when you talk about artificial intelligence, I like to give practical examples or practical explanation of artificial intelligence. AI has been into existence for a long time, for a very, very long time. But because recently the AI gained popularities where individuals can be able to use the AI to solve their problem. Simple examples, as we all are aware, uh, we all understand that today, with help of AI, that you can be able to ask the AI and chat with the AI about different things. Take example, the chat GTP we are using. If we search on Google, right? I always say this for those that are just coming. If I go to on Google and then type in chat GTP, okay, and then open it, hi AI, please tell me about Nigeria, right? So now you see, so this is the first time that people are interacting with AI, which is the generative AI. So it means these kind of conversations or where individuals can be able to look at what is this AI, and they can be able to go to different AI platform and chat with the AI, get any types of informations. It is really very wonderful. But what we are talking about now is how do we develop our own? Just similar to this. As you can see, this is an AI models, and we ask the AI model what is tell us about Nigeria. The AI is giving us story about Nigeria and this and that. So, but in the concepts or in the part of what we are going to do, we want to develop our own AI model, just like the generative AI. But in this context, we want to give the AI command that I want to have the picture of I and my friend 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So the AI can now look at those patterns because we are giving data, and the AI will convert those data and then generate a very good picture for us. So it means it will be a serious job. And at the end, if you want to deploy this for other people to use it, that means to make it available, you can be able to go ahead and use it. So this is just the background of the topic of our discussion. In a simple terms, we want to develop our own AI models that we can be able to give a text, and the AI can convert it into an image, be it is any type of image. But mind you, the image must be really must adhere to uh, uh, ethical consideration and others. So now to talk about the AI, like I've said earlier, AI has been in existence for a long time, for a long, long time. But this is the first time where industries are applying AI in order for them to do or to solve an industrial problem. Take simple example, my child with the chat GTP. This is like 2 years or 3 years now, where companies, students, and universities, people in the offices can be able to use generative AI to solve or to support their productivity. But like I've said, this AI has been in existence for a long time. So to simply tell us to simply understand AI, the uh, is a is a kind of inventions or new technology that imitate what human can do. Now, think examples. Take this example. If I ask you, draw a picture of you and your friends 10 years ago, you can be able to imagine that and put it in paper. If you're a very good artist, you know how to draw very well. If you put the picture, you can see it, it look very wonderful. Maybe I can ask you that, okay, I want you to tell me a story of you being in secondary school. What type of life then? You can be able to go back into your cognitive senses and then tell a story about that. So it means the AI is an imitation of the human brain. In an imitation of human is a machine that imitate what human can do. So it means as human, if you can be able to keep data in your brain, because every day we are keeping more data in your brain. You come to work, you learn something new, you put it in your brain. You go back home, you see something new, you put it in your brain. So the AI was developed to simply imitate what the human can do, and at the same time, it can do more than what the human can do in terms of productivity. But I had this, a lot of people were afraid. If now I can talk to the chat GTP and it can be able to give me a history of Nigeria, that means I don't have to go and buy a book. I mean, I don't have to ask somebody to do it for me. No. Really, the AI is just here to support your productivity. So it means if you want to do well in your company, you must really know how to use AI, be it is applied AI, be it is an AI in terms of developing real computer coded model, you have to learn that and you have to apply it. If you don't want to apply it, it means yes, the AI will take your job probably. So, like I've said, the AI is just an imitation of human brain, right? The imitation of human brain. But I like to give one examples of AI. Let me go back to Google's and do a search. Data science. I want to give, there was a picture that I know about, which really helped very quickly to give a brief overview of, let me see, AI. So if I cannot see that, maybe I have to draw. Let me see if my computer will support drawing. Let me go back here. I like to give these examples when you are talking about AI. Okay, let me use this tool. This is one. Okay, this is two. Type and in your fields, I want to do graphic work for me to tell my students what AI is. I hope I can be able to achieve that. Can't I have a drawing something in Microsoft Word that can help me and draw? Maybe draw. Excellent. Maybe I can use this draw. Very good. So pardon me. I don't know how to draw very well. Okay. So that we can save our time. All right. So for us to understand AI, first we have to begin from here. First, data. Okay. We have data here. Okay. Maybe you can call it data science, but I always like to call it data. Okay. Data. Then you have the AI. Okay. Okay. Then you have the ML. Then let me draw another one inside. I hope my design, I mean what I'm doing is horrible. DL. Okay. So what I'm trying to draw here, maybe if you go to the internet, you can see a better version of this. First, you can never do AI without data. Uh, Two of my students, I think I did student met me some days ago. asking that one of them apply for job, but when they are screening him online, talking, asking him some theoretical question, he was able to scale through. When they asked him of the practical work, how can he apply AI to solve problems? He told them clearly that I don't know how to do that, which for me is good. If you don't know, you said you don't know. But the main issue here is you need to understand what you are doing. You can understand the practical part, uh, and then doesn't know the theoretical part is another problem. So you must have the knowledge of the two parts, the theory and the practical. Now, why I do this is first, I want you to understand that everything you are talking of AI is about data. Is about data. Take this example. Can you process, can you give answer to any question that you don't have it in your brain? You cannot do that, right? Take example. You've never been to US, you've never been to UK, and then I sat you down, and you've never had any story about it. And I asked you, tell me a story about the US. And I'm not giving you anything to support you answer these questions. What will you do? You cannot be able to give anything. Exactly that's how the AI works. Before you talk of AI, you must have a data because it is when you have a huge amount of data or you have a data, that is when the AI can work. If you talk of cognitions, thinking or asking you, somebody asking you a question, you are giving him an answer, that definitely have to reside within certain patterns, within certain data. If the data is not there, you cannot be able to do anything. All right. So first, when you talk of AI, you must talk about data. You must talk about data. What is this data? Let me give you simple examples. I was reading an academic journal where I was studying how the American government, as well as the uh, Chinese government, and then also I look at Russia as well. These are very giant countries. They are the leading, I mean, they are the leaders in the world. So first, what I do was to look at their internal security concept. How are they making sure that their country live peacefully? And part of what I found was that before they even think of deploying technology in terms of addressing the internal security, first what they've done is to make a funding available to companies, to individuals that, okay, this is what we want. First, they have the data of the country. If you are an indigenous of the country, you must have a data or a number that linked you. By that number, you can be simply identified. So that's one. Then, secondly, what they did, I'm talking of data, what they did was to, okay, say, okay, let's look at this proposal by different companies. When they look at, okay, you have a repeatable history, you have a project that you've done that is very good, they'll put you as part of those that work in the project. And that is why, if you could remember, I told some of my students there was some years back where American government deny citizens of Nigeria visa because of what? We don't have consolidated data then. We don't have consolidated data, but I'm happy now we have a very good data where you can be able to verify any Nigerian citizen. Okay, so what we are talking about now is before you think of security, before you think of AI, first you must have a very good data in place. If you don't have data, it will be an issue because not having data, you cannot develop anything AI. So when you have the data, the next part is the AI, artificial intelligence. So what we are saying now is you have a data and then you want the AI, you want to develop machine learning that can be able to look at this data and give you answer to any of the problem related to the data. So it means when you talk of machine learning, the machine learning is looking at the existing data and then make prediction or answer any questions you want to ask the AI based on some certain patterns in that data. Now we come now to the level of machine learning. The AI said AI is just an imitation of human brains, while the machine learning is learning. It means you develop a machine that can imitate human beings, while in the concept of machine learning, what the machine learning is doing is that it's learning on its own. If I tell you don't keep this here, tomorrow when you come, you know that I told you not to keep it here. So the machine learning will learn from given data. This is what I want, the machine learning will understand that. This is what I don't want, the machine learning will understand that. So it means when you talk of artificial intelligence, first you have to look at the structure. When you look at this structure, then you can be able to give a very accurate explanation to anybody. Developing the model, yes, is complicated, but really understanding the procedure, the structure, will help you to understand it much better. Now, going back here, what we want to do, based on my explanation, we want to be able to develop an AI model. Okay, these AI models that we're going to develop is going to be developed in Python. Python, like all of you knows, is a computer, is a high-level computer programming language that is used to develop all these high technology, all these, if you have a mobile device, you can see fingerprint recognition, facial recognitions. The language of the computer can be able to develop all this. So it means for those that doesn't know anything about AI, I mean Python, you have to go back home and study what is Python. I know with some of you, we have done a lot in that concept. Now coming down to Django, what is Django? Well, Django is a framework, is a kind of already made library or already made computer code that ease your work in terms of developing Python code that will run on on browser, maybe like youtube.com. When you go on youtube.com, when you do your work to develop Python application that will run on in much time. Now, the stable diffusion, well, I can say it's a company also at the same time, it's a framework, it's a technology where uh, course is basically issues or things that are around to creativity, developing images that are from tech base, tech examples, you ask a questions and the question converted to an image. So they have a platform on its own. So what we are doing here, we are leveraging on what they have already. That means we are using some part of their code to be able to fast track the process of developing this. Okay. Now, before we talked about developing the solutions in terms of AI, I want us to look at some part of things that I've already answered. First, you cannot develop any AI solution if you don't know what is AI. So you must know what is AI before you can even think of, okay, I'm developing models. What type of model am I going to use? What type of algorithms? Okay, so that's one. Then, secondly, maybe if you are using it for leisure, for the purpose of learning, you can use any case study. But if it's you are developing it maybe for your company or for somebody company or somebody asks you to develop it, you need to understand the requirements. And you have to work with the stakeholders. You have to work with the people that are giving you the projects. If not, you may end up developing a solution that is not going to satisfy your customers' needs. Okay? Then also at the same time, before you start, you have to look at the requirement and then give it to the end users or give it to yourself that okay, this is what I want. Just like what I've said we are going to do, when you look at the title, we have already clearly stated what we are going to do. So it means whatever we are doing that is out of this context, it means we are wasting our time, right? All right. Then after that, well, this is just a procedure where you have to think about ethics. Like I've said, ethics is very important. Ethic is very important. When you talk of ethics, you have to understand that what am I developing? Is this something that is going to cause problem? You are in Nigeria, maybe you are part of the northern part, the eastern part of the country. You need to know that ethically what is acceptable so that you don't develop something that will cause problem. So ethics is very important. You have to evaluate that, look at it, look at the implication. If it's going to bring problems, then you dump it. You don't have to do it. Okay. Take example of the ethics. Yeah, we want to develop text to image model. So, like I've said, our objective is to do it, but we have to look at it. What types of images are we going to allow this AI model to generate? Are these images that are going to cause problem? You have to look at that and then integrate it in your solution. So the after looking at that, the second part of developing AI models, okay, is data collection or data gathering, which I believe in any types of projects, whether computer-based projects, any type of project, you have to first gather data before you think of doing the project. So that also apply in machine learning. When you want to develop an AI models, first and famous, you have to gather the data, okay? Because in gathering data, you need a different set of data. First, you need the training data set where the machine will be trained on the data. But like I've said, what we are doing, already the data has been trained. We are leveraging on another AI model, so it is going to ease our work. But for those that doesn't know, the first part of developing any artificial intelligence models is to first collect data. Okay, first collect data. This can be part of questions that may be asked during an interview. Okay, first you have to collect the data. And after collecting data, then there is processing the data. So in this data processing, we have something called data pre-processing. How this data pre-processing work? Well, in data pre-processing, what we are doing is we have a lot of types of data. We have data that is normalized. That means data that you don't have to trouble yourself to clean it up. And you have the data that is very complicated. Let's take example. Maybe you want to develop a solution uh, that have to do with customers in the bank. You want to understand your customer. Maybe you want to give an award, you want to give gifts to your customers, you work in the bank, and then sort of data were given to you. Maybe data from, maybe you are working in the first bank, and then data of GT Bank is given to you, data of this and given to you. When you want to put all this data together to train AI models, you are going to have a confusion. Your focus is to only focus on data that have to do with first bank, and a lot of data set are given to you. So it means as part of that, you have to look at those data that are missing that are not supposed to be there. Maybe there are some data that doesn't have account number or account name. You have to all look at that. That is that. Then the next part is you have to divide the data. I mentioned this. You have to separate the data into two: the training data, okay, where the training data, what you are using it is these data are going to be used during the training. And the other part of the data, maybe you can call it data for validation, but most of the time, when you talk of the AI, first you have to make sure you have enough data in terms of training. Like I've said, guys, I know AI is the most difficult part of all this our internship. So, but pay attention. Whatever I say and is not properly clear to you, you can do more research or ask questions. Okay, maybe that can clarify and make sure that you understand what we are doing. Okay, so after having the training data, then you have the second part of the data, which Maybe this is a data for validation, maybe this is a data of testing. But in nutshell, you have two data, training and testing data. So the training, you use it during the training. The testing is after the project had been completed. You will test it to make sure that, yes, this my project is working. Don't forget, any AI is based on these two types of data splitting. The data must be splitted into two, training, okay, and testing, okay. So now we talk of this. So I like to go with our case study, which is using stable diffusions. So stable diffusion, so training data set as well as the testing data set, because they have done a lot of AI models. We have a lot of AI models, AI models that can be used to achieve any project. First, you have to look at what you want to do. Take example, I will give has gotten us to computer vision, where the computer system can be used in hospitals, where patients, if you have a problem, statement by the patient, I recommend what you need to do. So it means at some certain point, doctors were eased to do some basic things. So it means in that part where computer type of prediction as well, computer can look at patient image based on maybe broken leg, and you take the image, the patient, I mean the pathologist who will study the image and look at what is happening, and then now tell the oncologist that this is what is happening if there is need for radiotherapy. So this is something that has been applied in different hospitals. So if you want to develop a solution that is related to the hospitals, it means your own part of the AI model that you are going to make selection is different from us, that we are going to develop an AI model that is going to focus on getting a textual input and then converting it to a picture. So it's two different things. So, but in our context, we have already choose what to use. We say that we are going to use, so we don't have to bother ourselves on that. So for those of you that want to really go deep into developing AI solution, I will recommend more about different AI models. There are thousands, many of them that you can be able to use. Okay. What is time, Idafe? Three. How many minutes? So I think I have said a lot, and it's open. Okay. Let me look at the comments. They don't. Well, even myself, I cannot see the comment here. I can't see the comment. So, but you can look at some of the questions that are relevant to what you are doing, so that we can give answer. No questions. When people doesn't understand, they don't really ask much questions. So this document is going to be shared with you, so that you can study it further. Like I've said, what we want to achieve is clearly mentioned in the document, which I've said we are going to develop text to image AI model using Python, Django, and stable diffusions. So already we have defined our objectives. So if you want to go ahead on your own, you can do more research to see how you can do it. But I know the time is not going to be enough. I've already started developing the solutions. This is the code. Uh, but today, like I've said, the time is not going to be enough for us. So you have to go back home, study the document that is going to be shared. It's my screen shared. Okay, let me share my screen so that you can see the code. Okay, so this is the computer code that I have started writing for us to be able to develop text to image artificial intelligence models, which you can be able to give a prompt, enter the prompt, and then the machine will generate those pictures for you. But first, you must go through that documentation that is going to be shared on the Tele group so that you can really understand. Because writing the code, you can use, like I've said, we are using AI. You can use the AI, but at the end of the day, there are some questions that may be thrown to you, and you end up confusing yourself. Okay, but study the content. When we come back next week, uh, by God grace, we'll now look at this code, and then all of you will be able to do it. The code is ready. Okay. Uh, so, Idafe, let me have questions from the students, if there's any. All right. Do you have any questions? I can't see the comment here. If I refresh, won't it stop the program? All right. So I think in absence of no questions, we have to end the program here, and then we meet next week. So the assignment for today is for everybody in the class to download the guideline that is going to be shared on the Telegram group. Study it, forcibly start developing your own model. Let's meet next week and then finalize developing the models. And it will be very wonderful to see you writing your own computer code that can be used uh, to generate something very, very, very important. So, see you next week and thank you. Bye for now.